moving from the shoulders, so the shoulders hinge, and just fold those hands down to the belly and place the hands right directly on your belly. Feel the warmth between the hands and the belly. Ponder whether you are, are you feeling your hands or are you feeling your belly? Feeling the space in between, that co-arising of the two. I was thinking, reading that book, Path of Compassion, we take refuge in the Buddha, but the Buddha takes refuge in us. There's not one without the other. And we will lean into that left knee, drop your fingertips down, pull that right leg up, and practice balancing here. You can feel that wobble in your ankle. This is the adjustment that is needed to stay present and aligned. Being present is always letting go and always welcoming in. Hands come to the waistline, flex that front foot, and step back into a standing lunge, Virabhadrasana 1. We're going to turn our hands back and open the heart, and then fold forward. And you don't have to go all the way down. You could just go part way, or you could touch the floor. Inhale, bring yourself on up. Your spine feels vertical. Bend the elbows, take the hands through the shoulder well, and then let them sweep out. Make that offering. We'll do that 2 more times. Here we can imagine the rain pouring down as the arms go down. We lean forward, we gather the moonlight from the waters. A beautiful cleansing wave washes over us. Through the shoulder well, the hands spiral out, a hot wind over the surface of the ocean. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Hands come forward, step forward, bring the arms up and turn the palms down, exhale. Open the feet a little wider than hip width apart. Lean into that right knee and bring that left knee up. Now the knee coming up, just notice, are you trying to, are you putting a little bit too much of thinking, oh, I want to get my knee as high as it can go? Or can you just imagine that contraction of the psoas, and then inevitably you just kind of witness where that knee shows up? And then exhale, hands come to the waistline, flex that left foot, and step back into a slight Virabhadrasana 1. Not even a variation. This is Virabhadrasana 1, but then we move through. We make it into movement, turning the hands back, opening the heart, pouring the arms down, folding forward, nice long spine. And you can also notice this spiral that's happening. Bring the hands right through the shoulder well, and then release and it spirals out. But this spiral has begun right now as this grandest opening. This big circle that comes in closer and closer. Circling again, even closer. And then it becomes our own small offering in this world. So we begin at the universe one last time. Drawing all of that energy in. So that we can make that offering, be a part of this story. And then the arms come up, we step forward, turn the palms over and settle down. Let the arms hang at your sides, shake the fingertips out, big toes touching, heels apart slightly. Let the collarbones widen. Then turn your attention inwards. And see if you can sense the beating of your heart within your body. You can feel the rhythm of your lungs. Knowing that there is a pulse in everything, there is an ebb and flow in everything. Because the physical is a temporary experience. Maybe 3 more breaths here. Let us move towards the ground with one sun salutation. We'll inhale, bring the arms up. Palms touch. As you exhale, let that settle down. You know, how gracious and tender can you make the movement? Inhale, the arms rebound and open. Exhale, fold forward. Touching the earth with your hands, forehead towards your shins. Inhale, look up. Place both hands on the ground in front of you slightly. Lean forward, and you can step or jump back and land in the base of Chaturanga Dandasana. Just a little push up or a push down. Place the knees on the floor. Point the toes. Push down into your hands and open into upward facing dog. Or maybe you choose to do cobra. And then you could put your knees on the ground or keep the legs straight and press back into downward facing dog. 5 breaths there in downward facing dog. And then coming forward and putting your knees on the floor and sitting back on your heels. Come up on the tips of your fingers, and stretch the side body out. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, chin folded towards your heart, just slightly, so that you can put the forehead on the ground. And turn those hands over and bringing the forearms towards each other a little bit so that the pinkies are touching, thumbs pointing out, and your ears right between your biceps. You might feel this nice spiraling action from the back door of your heart, spiraling out across the shoulder blades, swooping underneath the armpits, spiraling through to the soft part of your elbows and around to your thumbs. Maybe you feel the thumbs getting a little heavier and dropping towards the ground a bit. Anytime we can notice these patterns in nature that reveal the ever-changing interconnectedness, interbeing, and co-arising of existence, we will be in that place of like compassion for truth, compassion of truth. And then lifting the head, then we'll just take our hands and just, you turn your hands so that you can cross your fingers and tuck your thumb. Tuck your pinky underneath the lowest pinky so that you're not pushing on that pinky bone. It's just in front. It's in the nook of that cave. And then you're going to lift up and you're going to put the crown of your head on the ground. Okay? Now, you don't need to do a headstand or anything, but your head is standing on the ground. So this might be right where you hang out with your hips coming up over your knees, and then just practice pushing into your forearms. Let the shoulders widen, the collarbones widen, and just enjoy that space and that new experience for your throat, for the blood moving towards your head, for the weight in your shoulders and how you can distribute that through your arms into the forearms. up through the torso, up into the pelvis. If you feel like straightening your legs, do so. But really practice being detached from outcome. It's just like that statement of like, don't mistake this for a headstand. Because it's not right now. And this small microcosmic practice is teaching us about how to live in the world. And if we're driven by an impulse of sorts, then we're not in control because something's driving us. But if we can see something and conscious, if it's calling to us, then we can choose to answer or not. If you feel like doing a headstand, playing with that at all, please do so. But I'm not there, and you're the true teacher. So if you want to take primary focus is taking care of yourself. And then when you come down, rest in baby pose. Turn your head to the left or to the right, whatever feels like it's calling to you. And then just roll over onto your back when you're ready. And after you roll onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. We'll just do a short body scan. Due to time, we'll move through with just a few breaths. Taking a deep inhale, and bring your awareness to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, as if your body was a river itself, let the breath pour down through your body, and as it does, release those legs and let them slide out as if they were like the branches floating down the river. The arms fall to your sides. All the way through. And then we'll take another deep breath, starting at the crown of your head. Inhale. Feel that energy at the crown of the head, like that, the headwaters. And then as you exhale, visualize that beautiful river of your life, of yourself, pouring through the face, the jaw, the throat, the torso, into the hips and the legs, through the calves and out of the soles of the feet. And again, as you breathe in and you draw that breath and that attention up to the very crown of your head, perhaps even just above the crown of your head, really allow that to condense into a golden ball of light, or I like that these are the headwaters. And then as you exhale, let those waters flow through, and water fills the space. If there's space, water will fill it. So let it fill through the creases of your eyes, and the nooks of your heart, and the crevices of your rib cage, all throughout the organs, down the legs, into the ankles and the soles of the feet. And the soles of the feet open up to the ocean of existence. We'll do it one more time on your own. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Long, long exhale. And let the breath just be easy flowing, breathing your body. Your body is like the banks of the river, and that river keeps flowing. in that breath. There are eddies and gurglings and faster spaces, faster running movement, and still spaces. Just a few more breaths there. And as you take the next few breaths, rest one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower belly. And that inquiry of, when you feel your hand on your heart or on your chest, that relationship and the space between the co-arising of this experience, because it couldn't happen unless those two met, that heart and that hand, that belly and that hand. Be so grateful. You have a great opportunity. Your life is a gift. It is sacred. And then noticing which nostril you're breathing out of more clearly, roll onto that side and come on up to sitting. So just with a few moments here, you can close your eyes or just look down and take a few moments to think about three thoughts that either are arising right now or arose throughout that practice. Just think of, or you could even just think of one thought, one concept, idea, inquiry, pondering. Okay. And then let's look back at each other, and now it's time for you to share some of those thoughts. So what's happening? We're gonna spend maybe 5 minutes conversing. Michelle, how are you? What are you thinking?
What comes to mind, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
What comes to mind is always gratitude. Just so much gratitude for having the space, the time, the health to keep this practice.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, gratitude is just essential. It's like the best ingredient in our soup of life. Okay, who else?
I can go. And I'm so sorry for being so late. Thank you for letting me join still. So my cat decided to sit on top of me for the last bit there. And I don't spend that much time with her, and it just was really like a nice moment, and just realized like, wow, I'm really tired. Like, wow, I should really just rest more and be with my cat. And so yeah, I think it was just like a real moment of presence, and it felt really, really nice. So thank you.
Great, beautiful. I love that. Yep, animals teaching us all the time. Okay, who else there? Susie?
Yeah, the thought that kept coming to mind is gratitude as well, for being willing to be led, like following the threads through my life to actually pay attention to intuition. You know, those little hits that we get of like turn left instead of right, or walk into this class versus, you know, not, or, you know, whatever it might be. I feel like I've just am now living a period of where that feeling was gone, and it's coming back on, like it's firing again. And so I'm extremely grateful for that, and to be able to feel that life force energy flow through my body. I feel like I was led to be a part of this group at this time, and thank you for leading it.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. I wanted to mention something from what you said is at one point I said, talking about how if you're driven by something, you know, then you're not in control, you know, and if it's a calling, then you have the choice to follow that calling. And then when I first was thinking about that and heard about this idea, I always was like, oh, geez, you know, do I just like, because I'm very much a impulsive person, spontaneous, yet one of the important facts or factors to that is that when you have a calling, there's not an expectation or a disappointment. There's just it's a part of the process. So that would be like what you're talking about, that intuition, that being led, but not being driven, you know. With being driven, usually that entails a little suffering, because you end up with expectations or disappointment. So I was thinking about the hut that I'm building right now. I started it before COVID, and it was supposed to be done the May of COVID, of that May, and I'm still working on it. And it's great because it's just the process of it. Great. Well, let's thank you for sharing. Let's move on to, we just have a little bit, unless somebody's dying to share, which I would love it if you were dying to share. Yeah, Laura.
I am during the movement. There's something about is it qigong or qigong that like just the visualization and the movement through the air. And there's the one where we were kind of we were just basically, there's the feeling of the offering,
yeah,
and then to pouring it over, you know, like it's just like I suddenly forgot about all the my thoughts and all the stuff going on. And it's just like the pure sensation of just like gathering it all up and then pouring it over and then being able to just offer it. Something about the joy of like that movement.
Love it.
It felt so great. And I feel very like otherwise was pretty heavy with lots of heady thoughts. And it was just like, there's that moment where it just was like all dissolved. And it was, you know, talking about like being led or the intuition. It was just like, yes, this is perfect, you know, something. It just felt good.
Good. I'm so glad. Well, I think we forget
Little
about,
emancipation.
what'd you say?
It's just a little emancipation from
Oh,
like
yeah.
the heaviness of like the last couple of hours, and suddenly I was just like, it was just all about air and movement, and anyway,
Well,
beautiful.
I think we forget that between the story and ourselves is that space between the object, like in a very physical way, in yoga, in the practice and in the studies, there's the object of perception, and then there's the space in between. And that's just like when we put our hands on our hearts and we recognize that it's not my hands and it's not my heart, it's the space in between that is creating the experience, or that is the experience. If we could be aware, very conscious of the space that surrounds us, I think we would be a part of nature so much more. We would be a part of the flow. Instead, we get caught up in the objects that are filling and the space, and we try to define ourselves from those objects, and then we're confused here, and everything kind of separated, when it's like, well, what about the space between these two? And that's where life is, basically. It's not in the car or it's not in your identity. It's in that ability to experience, to exist. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
And once again, anybody dying to share? Okay. Let's move on. Let's see if this writing prompt works. So it was more a thought. I've never done this one with anybody. But let's see. My okay. Sorry, I've got all these. I thought that these cards would work, but now I'm not so sure. Where is the writing prompt? Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. So let's get together our journals. We have a very short amount of time, so we'll make the best of it. And we will warm up with, let's just do a minute of free writing real quick. And I'm just going to throw out, or we'll do 2 minutes free writing, and I'm going to throw a word out often. So you can get real spontaneous with what's coming out. It could turn into a poem. It could be, it doesn't have to be a full sentence. It doesn't have to be even a full thought. So let's actually try to not have full thoughts in this little two-minute warm up. We are going to start with me finding my glasses. The word that we begin with is passion. Body. Laughing. Cuddle. Blunder. Winter. unravels. Gallop. Revel. Hymn. The end. Finish up there, or it's the end. Oh, so you'll have to email me and tell me what that was like. I'm curious. I'd love to hear some of your poetry. You could even do a little editing and send some poems to me, or to us all, really. Okay, so the writing prompt is you're going to take a few moments and just think about some of the, real desires in your life. Like write a list. It'll be list style, and some desires that you've had in the past or you have now. Don't get too much about it. Just be like, I wanted to be a singer, or I want to be even I don't know, just all kinds, whatever comes up. What are your desires in life? What do you desire in life? What did you desire in life? Right? Five or eight things. Make some of them be in your past. Thanks, Keith. Yeah. Okay, let's stop there because we're running out of time. We're losing folks. So now I want you to look at some of those, like, let's just choose one of them. Let's start with the past, because I think this is going to work better with something in the past, but I think it would pertain, but it just might take a little more pondering. But think of one of the things that you wrote from your past, a desire that you had in the past, and ask yourself, what is this really about? And you're asking yourself, like, why did I, without saying, why did I want that? Because it's not like a why question. It's more like, let's get down to the root of what's the, and it comes back to that idea of what I was talking about, the drive, being driven by something or being called, So we're trying, I think that if we see, untangle these things, look at these things, and when you come up with an answer, then ask yourself again, what is this really all about? So you might do it 3 in the little bit of time that we have now. Let's just try to get an answer for 2 or 3 times. So you say, what is this? What was this about? And then a sentence comes out of you. You could even think of it as an interview, like you're asking your soul, or you're asking the child of yourself or your person at that time, what was that really about? Answer. Well, what was that really about? Answer. And then do it 2 or 3 times. Okay? Okay. So let's see. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay? So let's finish up here. We got like maybe 15 more seconds. And then I would love to hear how this went for you. I want you to do homework, maybe working with a couple other ones of those, and just see what that feels like. You have a couple days before we see each other for the last time, and you could do it again. You could start from the beginning again. But really, a lot of this has to do with like our subjects. And I know it's like, it's funny how I called this loving kindness, and it is about that. But we're not doing the straightforward, this is, the routine that so many do. We're really inquiring and investigating how we can be compassionate with ourselves, because inevitably that I can have much more compassion for others, but I'm going to burn out unless I have that compassion for myself sewn in with it. Society forces us to abandon ourselves. Like, that's actually how it is set up, to say, you cannot, we don't really care about who you are. Where are you going to fit into this system so that we can, so that the top stays at the top, and we all stay in our caste, basically. And so when we ask ourselves, like, look at all of our desires that we have, if we really look at those and really find out what they're all about, depending on what level it's on, I'm talking about society, like, your work, but also like family, then we start recognizing what we need to dismantle and how we can heal, and how we maybe be able to heal our society, or heal our families, or heal the family of our own self. So I hope that kind of resonates, and now that I've explained it, that kind of resonates with what the writing prompt was attempting to do. And yeah, we'll see what comes up in the next couple of days. Please write to us, to all, because we all would love to hear from you. And I will send this, hopefully I can figure out the storage space. And write me with any questions or feedback or comments. I hope you I haven't shared much of my book through this, but I hope you were inspired to buy my book, which you can on my website, come to a yoga retreat, come volunteer at my animal sanctuary. I've always got lots of work here. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Okay. And did anybody get to read that reflective writing email that I sent y'all? Did I send it? Okay, good. Read it because we talked about it on Monday, and it was fun. And that's what you would get. You'd get like 14 of those. And I'm sorry I'm advertising, but got to do it. Okay, I love you all, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, great evening. Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.